I took Scott, because we were hanging out a lot then, and I took Razor, and we sat, because WWE took out a whole plane for us, like, you know what I mean? That was a private plane, so we sat in the front, kind of like to, you know, just to get some rest, you know, because normally what we do is we take some sleeping pills, get a couple of beers or whatever, and just go to sleep. And I picked the front because, you know, if you fall asleep, dude, they'll fuck with you sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just rib you. So that's what I want. Like, that was the intention. So like in the back, like they were just wilding, you know, they were just going nuts. So yeah. And I guess since the Dark Side of the Ring thing, a lot of it, because a lot of the shit that came out, I didn't even know of. And I've told the story a bunch of times, but that's, you know, it was 20 years ago, right? So a lot of it, I don't remember. It's just what I remember is like me telling the story. So I just kind of go with what I've told before, because in all frankness, I kind of don't even remember that well. I mean, I remember it, but you know, 20 years is a long time. So,
And
you know, but yeah, there was a lot of fallout from it, especially with the Flair thing, you know?
Yeah. I was telling my friend about it yesterday. I was like, have you watched the Dark Side of the Ring? And he goes, oh yeah, the plane story. Yeah, I've known that for years. And I'm like, I guess this one just got like, you know, over my head.
Over your head, yeah.
And I don't even remember hearing about it until,
Yeah.
you know, you were gonna be on the show. I watched it and I was like, damn, like this is like so long ago, but
Right.
and there's like apparently fallout about it now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, because I guess, you know, a lot of the fans knew about it. Even WWE had talked about it before on one of their, you know, I think ESPN's 30 for 30 had talked about it. But I mean, it was known, but I guess it was never done in a documentary like that. And so for people that aren't real necessarily like hardcore fans, for people to hear it and kind of understand and realize, well, that's really fucked up. Because for wrestling fans, it's like, it's just another day at the office. You know, that's how some people think of it.
Mhm.
But when, you know, the more and more people started to hear about what really happened, it outraged a lot of people, you know, even though it was 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what, you know, it's crazy to look at just to you know, watch it now. And you know, you were there. And so with all that Dark Side of the Ring, everything they basically were saying, it was like it was probably like a daily thing, you know, like
It certainly wasn't daily, but it had happened before.
yeah,
I guess what was bad about it was that what happened with the flight attendant,
yeah,
which I wasn't even aware of, to be honest. Because, like I said, I sat in the front of the plane. Like I'd seen some of the stuff, like, you know, the ponytail getting cut off and stuff like that. But I didn't know, because Flair was all the way at the back of the plane. I'd heard about Flair putting on the robe, but I didn't see it, and I certainly had no idea until I saw the show myself what had happened with that poor flight attendant. You know, I had no idea about that.
yeah,
So I guess that was the biggest outrage, was how she felt and how she came across in it, which was really, you know, I felt so bad for her. You know, and Tommy Dreamer got into a bunch of trouble. He got suspended from both his radio job on Sirius XM and from Impact because of his comments. That people found it, you know, kind of insensitive. So it's like, wow, you know. So you got to be careful, man. You got to be very careful how you know what I mean? Because I didn't, like I said, I had no idea about this lady, this the flight attendant. So I'm glad I didn't say something stupid, because I didn't even know. Because when you see her and hear her story,
yeah,
which when you shoot these shows, you don't hear what the other people are saying. They just ask you questions and you just answer them. So I had never seen the footage, you know, until the day it aired. So it was like, now I could see why people were pissed, you know,
yeah,
because she came across very compelling, and, you know, obviously she suffered from it, you know, because she was, you know, upset and she was crying, and, you know, that's not cool at all, you know.
and to get off that, you know, how was it working with JR? And
Oh,
I
it
I
was
didn't know
great.
he had such a I didn't I think I knew, but you know, a lot of things happened that I don't remember he had such a big role in WWE at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, he was part of the, like, he hired and fired guys. Like when I got my contract, he was the guy I emailed, for a contract and stuff. And he's great because he's really in the wrestling. He's been in the wrestling business for as long as you can imagine, since the 70s. And he's great at putting talent together, and he treats it almost like a team, like it would be a football team or something. He's very good. He addresses any concerns and stuff, but that he doesn't really have anything to do with like booking and stuff. He's just like the hiring and the firing. And if there's anything, if you're going through anything or you need anything or whatever, you would go to JR. But he was great. He was head of talent relations, and he was awesome. Yeah, he had a very prominent role.
Wow. And to hear all these guys that left the company and went to AEW, um, I've always thought, to those guys, the legends that have gone over there, do you feel like they really I've always said, coming from me, these legends are going to AEW, and they're still a Hall of Famer in
Right.
WWF or WWE. Um, how are they, you know, how are they even still wearing that ring,
I hear you, but I mean, you can't. That's something just because WWE puts you in the Hall of Fame. I mean, doesn't mean you can't go to another company, especially if you're not under contract, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't keep you under contract. And unfortunately, that's the thing, is you need a source of income. A lot of people need to work. So if like Rob Van Dam, he's a Hall of Famer, but if he's not working, why not go somewhere else to work? You
Exactly.
kind of have to, right?
Yep.
So if WWE wants to keep these Hall of Famers under contract, then they should, right? Like give them a Legends deal or something to not go somewhere else. But yeah, it's what it is, though. I mean, it doesn't. I don't think it takes away from it. It's just like, I think fans understand that wrestling is the way it is, and people are going to move around from promotion to promotion. Because I think the Hall of Fame, a lot of people believe it's more of a gimmick than it is real. You know what I mean? Because it's not necessarily really a Hall of Fame of wrestling. If you really think about it, it's only people that have been to the WWE. Obviously, very few people that have been in other promotions have been like huge in other promotions. You know what I mean? Have made it. So like Lex Luger, for example, he'd be a Hall of Famer in my eyes. You know what I mean? A guy like Sid Vicious, he should be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And they're not, because they're not affiliated with the WWE at this moment. So, but you never know. But it's always going to be like that.
Hmm. Yeah, like being the that big wrestling fan back then, to going to like all these shows and all these autograph signings for I went to an autograph signing for Lockdown uh
Okay.
when it was here in San Antonio, and I met Al Snow, and I had my the photo gallery of all the wrestlers, and it was like that I think it's called a biography, WWE
Hmm.
biography. It says
Yep.
everything about everybody, and he knew what page and everything. He was just signing,
Yep.
and I told him. I kind of wish I didn't tell him though, but it was just a quick, fast question that I just thought about off the top of my head. I said, how come WWE hasn't put you in the Hall of Fame? And he goes, that's never gonna happen. But I'm just like, damn, like
Yeah. He's
that's
right, though. And he should be.
yeah,
Because he's done a lot of amazing things in this business outside. I mean, he did amazing things in the WWE, but even outside as well. So, yeah, it's a shame.
yeah. If there's like, if you with all the indie shows that you're doing, and I recently saw that you won the hardcore title.
Yeah.
How's that going, bro?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a small promotion near where I live in Massachusetts called Battlefront Pro Wrestling. So yeah, man, I'm still in there, man.